This weekend in Matthew's Gospel, as we enter towards the end of the church year, but also towards the end of Matthew's Gospel, the question is, Lord, what's the greatest commandment? The Lord spouts off, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and all your mind. But he says the second is like it, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. I want to kind of take the last phrase of that scripture because, one of the things that sin does is dissuade us from love of self. Convicts us that, you really don't love yourself. And that subtle voice of doubt, of insecurity, of fear begins to penetrate our existence and steal those areas of joy and hope in our lives that, well, you know what? Once I did love myself, but now I can't because I sinned here, I failed there. Or those areas of my life in which, I could be doing better. It could be in how I take care of my body. It could be about areas of work. But I want to help you realize that love, though it's active, it's also passive. Before you ever loved, you were loved. You were loved by God. You were loved by your parents. Meaning that you must allow God's love to seep into your existence so that you can begin to love others. How do I love my neighbor? Well, unless you have a love of self, you can't love others. You have to have tasted the wine to want to share the wine with another. And maybe that's a simple way of acknowledging that self-loathing, rejection, sulking, or isolation, that only leads you to an area of self-pitying. But the human heart, your heart, yes, love God. Love God in all of His mystery and all of His depth and all of His mercy. But also receive God in all of His depth and all of His mercy. Because then you can allow that grace to be part of your existence, and from that mercy seat is where you launch out in loving other people. I remember my spiritual director said years ago, he said, how you look at people is how you think God looks at you. Maybe that's the way you should go throughout this week. How do I look at that person? Do I look at them with love? Do I look at them with charity? Do I look at them with kindness? And once you begin to really understand how God looks at you and how He loves you, then maybe you can love others as you're supposed to love yourself. As you go forth this week, pray for that grace. Lord, give me the grace to love others as you love me, and help me to always love them as you love me in the manner in which I think you look at me. May you have a blessed week, and remember, it's more than a sermon. It's more than a thought. This is the reality of how Christ looks at us. God bless you.